Hi, my name is Brittany Cook, and this is my article review. I selected my article from the Canadian Journal of Human Sexuality. The name of my journal article is Sexual Health Information Disparities Between Heterosexual and LGBTQ Young Adults, Implications for Sexual Health. The article actually offers a lot of great information regarding health information and the availability of health information. Technology has improved so much in the past couple of years, and so health information is readily available for everyone, just at the touch of a fingertip. And this is specific to students, especially university students who receive sexual health information from professionals such as their doctors, nurses, sex educators, etc. But even with all this information that's being given to this particular population, less than half of them actually have reported using condoms. And so the rate of sexually transmitted infections have consistently increased in the past couple of years for this population. There are some functional terms that should be taken into consideration while listening to this particular presentation. Specifically, LGBTQ, which is individuals who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, or considered queer. Heterosexual, of course, are those who identify with their birth assigned sex. So you're male, you affiliate yourself being a male. You're female, you like males, straight, gay, etc. There are different aspects to sexual health, and specifically when the article speaks of two groups, it hones in on two specific groups, which is the LGBTQ group and also those who did not go to college, so non-college students. There are some salient points that were mentioned in the article. One being that LGBTQ individuals have a higher risk of possibly doing risky sexual behaviors, such as not using condoms or multiple partners. In addition to that, they're twice as likely to have sex underneath the influence, and then intimate partner violence or sexual violence rates are considerably higher in this particular community. In regards to students or non-students, should I say, most sexual information has been known to come from either the internet or their peers. This is considerably disappointing because a lot of adults have reported, or young adults have actually reported, wanting to receive sexual health information from healthcare professionals, so like their doctor. And what's funny is that specifically dealing with LGBTQ populations, healthcare professionals feel uncomfortable sometimes because of lack of training regarding sexual information, sex health information for LGBTQ populations. Others don't really take into account sexual history, so they're not asking young people what their sexual history is, or they feel uncomfortable even speaking of it. So this leads us into the research problem. Basically, further information is needed to determine where LGBTQ and young adults obtain information concerning their sexuality and how that actually relates to their self-efficacy. So how does the information that this particular population is being exposed to, how does that affect their ability to feel confident enough to practice safe sex practices? There are several objectives that have been mentioned in this particular article, and there are three, but here's the first one. they want to first determine whether there would be a difference between heterosexual and LGBTQ and emerging adults. And then another, if there's a difference between post-secondary and non-post-secondary young adults and their health sources. So where do these two different groups get their health information? Those who went to college and those who didn't go to college, and the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer community versus the heterosexual community. Where are they getting their health information as far as sex is concerned? So the second objective is, would there be a difference in sexual self-efficacy between heterosexual and LGBTQ emerging adults? And then the third is, do traditional sources for sexual health information predict self-efficacy in heterosexuals and undergrad students, while non-traditional sources would be a better predictor for those in the LGBTQ population or individuals who did not pursue higher learning? So are these sources predictors of their sexual confidence for these two particular groups? So the methodology was done at the University of Orwana. I'm probably saying that wrong. The way they did is they actually recruited using flyers and social media, so things like Facebook, Twitter, etc. By the end of recruitment, they had 386 participants, and the ages ranged from 18 to 25 years of age. The participants were given an online survey, and the online survey was designed to measure, one, sexual information, so where did they get their sexual health information, and then two, the confidence that they felt in sexual health practices associated with that particular information. So findings were indicated in 3 different sections. This is the first section, so sources of sexual health information and confidence in sexual health practices. And so one thing that they found is that frequently people use websites and also websites and outlets and news outlets and also their peers to refer for sexual information. And they were less likely to use information from schools and universities, which was really interesting to me, particularly because of the amount of information that's given to college students regarding health, sexual health, and safe sex practices. Overall, participants were moderately confident in their ability to maintain their sexual health or sexual health practices. So the second result would be differences across groups. So first of all, heterosexual participants received more information or were determined to receive more information than the LGBTQ community and participants. And this is basically because of their schooling or from their university. This is quite interesting because LGBTQ participants, are more at risk for risky sexual behaviors and things of that nature. So that's kind of interesting that the heterosexual participants receive more information while they're not the ones specifically at a higher risk for sexual acts that will result in a negative health outcome. LGBTQ participants did receive information, or most of their information, from the websites, news outlets, and peers in comparison to heterosexual participants. And so heterosexual participants were more confident in their sexual health practices, and it actually makes sense that they would be more confident in their sex health practices just because they had received so much information from professional educators, such as their school courses from the universities or schools, or even the nurses at the schools, or such educators that are offered at these particular schools or universities. Lastly, the predictors of confidence in sexual practices. There was no real support or findings for the third hypothesis. There were a mix of traditional and non-traditional sources that were linked to predicting one way or another as far as sexual self-efficacy pertains to either one of the groups, so it was really inconclusive. So the overall conclusion that I perceived from this particular article is that, one, LGBTQ and emerging young adults should be included in determining 18 to 25-year-old population sexual health needs, and that the telltale differences or educational gaps between heterosexual and LGBTQ adults, or those who did not pursue higher learning like college, is that, one, they use different sources in health information, and two, that their confidence in health practices range differently, where heterosexuals are more confident in their safe sex practices or sexual acts versus the LGBTQ population. Thank you so much for your time.